Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 24th of February. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And Gary, the month's almost over. We've got one auction weekend left in February. Can you believe it's just
run away?
Like
it's like Kathy Freeman just done a sprint and just gone
bang.
bang.
About this, in another month's time,
Yes.
when March has finished,
Yes.
that is going to be the finish of the first quarter of 2015.
Where does the time go?
Time just flies, Gary.
As you get older, as old as you, the time goes really quickly, doesn't it?
Do you know what? I think that now I'm of a certain mature age.
Yeah.
Life's going to slow down. I reckon once you get to 40, that decade between 40 and 50 goes really quickly. But I reckon once you hit that kind of 50 mark, not that we're there, of course, I reckon everything slows down. That's the story that I'm sticking to.
What do you got here, mate? Because what's going on with this?
Well, Gary, it's funny that you should pick that up. This is a tube of Clinique Super City Block SPF 30 plus. And I'd just like the viewers to notice my nose. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned my nose. How good does my nose look, viewers? My nose, this is the new reconstructed cancer-free nose. And I'm now pushing sunscreen. You've got to get some good sunscreen. So I've decided, Gary, I'm going to test a whole range of sunscreens.
Yep.
I'm in search of the best sunscreen that we can recommend on GPTV, and hopefully, of course, get a huge lucrative contract from that.
And we're taking suggestions, Phil. We'll take suggestions.
Well, that's what I'm saying, viewers.
Ideas.
If you've got a sunscreen that you love that really works for you, can you please send me an email, philipk@garypeer.com.au. I'd like to try it, but last weekend I did try this, Gary, and I thought I came through, particularly after a hot weekend, sunburn free.
So, given that people actually tune in to hear about real estate, do you think they really care about your nose or that?
Do you know what? I think that we can take the opportunity with GPTV to discuss a whole range of issues.
Let us get into the market.
You may be singular dimensional, Gary, but there's many dimensions to Phillip Kingston.
Oh,
you're just real estate.
You're so enigmatic, aren't you? Enigmata, an enigma. Now let's talk.
Told charismatic as well, Gary.
You haven't been told that very often. Let's just talk about the weekend though, Philip, because it's time to
weekend
that was, because we've got some towers. I'd like to put them up right now, Phil, because have a look at this. Cop that tower, Phil. 92% versus an industry average of
76%, I think it was, Gary.
Well, we'll go on with that for the time being. It wasn't any higher than that, I'm sure. 92% against an industry average of 76%. Now, that is 12 out of 13 auctions, Philip. What a fine weekend we had.
Absolutely.
It was steaming out there.
We bounced back from a tougher weekend the first weekend. But
we sold all but one week before.
This was my first weekend really back on the
That's
hustings.
Right. You were.
And I've got to tell you, I actually loved being out there. I did 3 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday. But how hot was Sunday?
Stinker, wasn't it? You didn't want. No one should ever know what was going on inside our jackets because it was.
I've got to show you, viewers. I did a 2:30 auction. That was my 5th auction on Sunday, and I did it in Normanby. And stupidly, I kind of got out of my air-conditioned car and put on my jacket. That was stupid.
Then had a cup of coffee.
So I did the auction in my jacket, and I could feel as I was doing the auction the sweat actually dripping down my back.
It was awful.
I took my jacket off, and I was wearing this pink shirt, and the shirt, every part of the shirt, including my collar, was wet. And it clung to my body, my rippled, chiselled body.
A lot of people just turned off their internet now.
It was a shocking look, and there's a guy that was looking at me as I did it, and he said, "So that's what hard work looks like."
Yeah, exactly right. Well, there you go. Disgusting. But do you think we're going to get your sympathy out there, Philip? Oh, no, the real estate agent just keeps getting pounded. And there's no sympathy for us, is there, in our industry? No. But we do work hard. Sunday, 4 o'clock, there you are, wet, and while other people walking around their shorts.
Correct.
The other half, how they live.
I mean, people have such remarkable lives.
They do.
Actually just dawdling on a Saturday and Sunday, enjoying themselves.
Phil, let's talk about the results.
Before we talk about whatever you're going to talk about, Gary, Sydney on the weekend?
What about Sydney?
Well, we had in the industry average of 76% in Melbourne, and that's a great clearance rate. They had an 87% clearance rate in Sydney.
How did you find out about that? That's very interesting.
Gary, look, I get up very early. I read a whole range of newspapers. I go online. I'd like to think by 9 o'clock in the morning, when others are just starting their day, I have got the world's information at my fingertips. But Sydney was just sizzling. They say the property market there is just
And do you know what? When I was in Sydney, they were writing about it's all over. And remember we joked about that on the first episode of GPTV. And the agents know, mate. They know what's going on. And
Agents are a
the
host of
agents know.
information.
They know everything. They just leave every trouble in the world, leave it to the agents. They'll sort it out.
Sort it out.
International terrorism, the Middle East, whatever it is that's going on everywhere.
And we'll take
sort
a
out.
small commission along the way.
Just a little bit, not too much. Phil, let's get down to the business of what happened on the weekend. We're not going to review every auction,
No,
Phil.
just
We did
do
have a
some
couple.
highlights, Gary.
We did have a couple in Carnegie. One of them was in Rigby Avenue, which was sold, and we like talking about Carnegie, don't we? Another one.
We do like talking about Carnegie.
Which we'll talk about further later.
We're going to talk about Carnegie a lot.
We are.
Read into that what you may.
Truganini Road. I'd like to play poker with you, mate. Truganini Road, Carnegie. That was a very competitive auction, undisclosed.
Gary, it was.
But it was sold with many bidders, Philip.
Yep.
One of the
Great vibe
auctions.
at that auction too,
It
Gary.
was a great vibe. Philip, one.
Well, how would you know? You weren't there.
No, I heard.
Right,
I heard from a reliable source, which
Good.
wasn't you.
Okay.
One Hemmingford Road at Bentley East. Now, Phil, this was a great auction. Let's talk a bit about that because that was great fun. I did join you at that auction. It was Saturday afternoon.
We had a lot of fun there.
We did have a lot of fun there. It was a humdinger of an auction, Phil, and what a great result. The reserve there was 1,100,000, I think it was.
Correct.
And off it went, and it sold for an incredible $1,285,000. And I was inside. I like that part where like you see on the block with the guys with the vendor. I love that part.
Yep.
And I'm with the vendor, and I think it's got to 150, and the vendor's going, "Oh, I'm going to get a new car," And then of course $135,000 later, it's like unbelievable. So
Gary, it was nice to get those vendors a good
1,285.
result.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's nice to get every vendor a good
course it
result,
is.
but we go way back with those vendors.
We do.
And when we started the business in 1986, we needed, obviously, to print some business cards. Unfortunately, we had no money to pay for those
No, we
business
didn't.
cards. And the man we sold for on the weekend
Yes.
was our original printer, and we printed with him for decades.
We did, Phil.
Until he retired from the business.
Yes.
So it was kind of a little bit of a historical moment.
So congratulations to them, Phil, and the purchasers actually said, we see a lot of you around Bentley East, and then we said, well, you're going to keep doing that because we love that area, and we do well there.
Major announcements coming their way soon, Gary.
We do, Philip. 64 Ludbrook Avenue in Caulfield South. I had the pleasure of doing that auction, Philip. The reserve was 1,120,000, sold for 1,182. Two buyers going hard at it, and the third one was there as well.
Did our photographer make it down to that auction?
Our photographer got there, Phil. Yep,
great.
They
We've got
did.
some new marketing material coming out. Hopefully, we got some good snaps of you, Gary.
Oh, I'm sure you would have.
Hopefully, we got the side of you without all the chins.
Phil, we had an auction in Inkerman Road. That was 4 at 580 Inkerman Road. Now that's an interesting one because it's the second time we've auctioned the same apartment. A lovely apartment and delightful vendors. Thank you for staying with us. I mean, that is a sign of good work.
Let's talk through that story.
Not too long, but
it's an interesting story.
Yes.
Tell me about that story.
Well, we auctioned it last year. It didn't sell. It was passed in. And what some cynics could say, well, you were unsuccessful.
Yes.
And I suppose if you don't sell, you are unsuccessful at that moment.
What did you pass it in at last time?
Look, I can't remember. It was Leo did the auction last time around. And would have done his absolute best, but didn't sell. And this time around, we got Jeremy Roses to do the auction for whatever reason, mixed it up a little bit, but they were very happy with Glenn Bricker and with our agency. And lo and behold, Jeremy has sold that property. The reserve was somewhere in that mid fives, sold for 585, which was a figure they would have been very happy with the first time round. So that was terrific. Phil's skipping along.
Persistence, Gary, beats resistance.
It
the
does.
team at Gary Peer and Associates will not give up until we make that sale.
Another feature auction, Philip, was where we shot GPTV, which was for a Garrell Street in Caulfield North for an undisclosed price. How many people were at that auction? We should have charged admission.
Huge.
Massive.
Huge. I reckon there would have been 150 people at least.
It was very...
It was so hot, we held the auction inside.
It was nice. The air conditioning was very effective.
Absolutely.
Well done to the builder, and congratulations on a great result. And we now, it was undisclosed, I can say the price was north of $1.5 million.
Correct.
And what I can also say is that we're now selling 4B.
Yep.
Garrell Street's come up. So
that's the one on the north side.
It is, Phil.
And what a great... look, I really liked that property. It was beautifully done.
Phil, 10 Normby Avenue was a wrap for you on the weekend.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that auction.
Well, it's funny, the power of auction, Gary, because I spoke to Lamore Herskovitz from our St Kilda office who's handling that property, and I spoke to her during the week and I said, how are we going to go on Normandy? And she said, look, I've got one buyer and a couple of maybes. I think it might be a pass in and negotiate. She wasn't quite sure that it was going to go all that well. But the joy of auction, Gary, is that people see it, they come and they get excited. And we had a reserve there of 980.
Oh, 980 was it?
Yeah, it might have been 960 actually.
Maybe it wasn't.
And we ended up having 3 buyers that really got involved in the spirit of it, and we ended up selling it for $1,060,000.
It was,
so almost, if the reserve was 960, that's $100,000 over the reserve. But it went on and on and on that auction. And I've got to tell you that was the soaked shirt auction.
It was, Phil.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you, but I took my mum out for a late lunch. Phil.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's lovely. How is your mum?
She's not bad at all.
Yep.
Well into her 90s and kicking along.
And I've got a special shout out to Edith, who has really been an important part of my life as well.
Yes.
And she is the most amazing woman.
She got you in when you were a young teenager, got those schnitzels into you, didn't she?
She
did, looked after you. Phil, they're the results. Let's talk about some of the offerings. Before I do, talking about family, Phil, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow. So Hannah's birthday, there you go.
Birthday.
It is 25th of February,
Yep.
so happy
What are we doing?
birthday, my darling. Ah, big night.
No, but what are we doing?
I'm not sure what you're doing, but we'll be doing something, I'm sure.
Well,
But,
we're not going out for dinner with you and Hannah?
Probably not, no.
Really?
No.
That's terrible.
I know, we
I
like
thought
that.
we were really close.
We are really close. You can send a gift. It's
Well, we
fine.
actually did buy a gift. We
Is that
bought
right?
a gift while we were overseas, actually.
Really?
We were in New York and
Yep.
we found a gift and we
Fantastic.
actually spent quite a lot of money on it. But having said that, if we're not invited to dinner tomorrow night, Irene may well keep that gift and we
might well
might
do
just
so.
get her a book voucher at Borders.
Phil, we've got a big week of auctions coming up.
I'm going to get you a gift voucher at Borders. Borders is closed.
Right, that's just the gift voucher you want, isn't it? Let's talk about this weekend. A smorgasbord of offerings, Philip. Shall we go through them?
How many auctions have we got, Gary?
I think it's 21. Let's go through them.
21. Let's have a look.
Philip, this weekend we have 21 auctions over 9 suburbs. Lots of work. Very exciting, Phil.
It is, Gary, going to be another hot one on Saturday, 34 degrees, but
Yes.
cooling down on Sunday to 21.
Yeah, that'll be good, won't it?
But what about the weather for Friday, Gary?
I
We've got
think
our
Friday's
golf day
about
this
27, 28. We have got our
Yep.
client golf day,
Friday.
Phil.
Have we got a full field? We've got plenty
Yeah.
of numbers coming.
Big numbers,
I'm
Phil.
looking forward to driving that golf cart,
Yeah,
the
just-
drinks cart.
Don't drive it into a bunker again, though, will you, please? Most expensive golf day ever, that one.
I don't know about that golf day. I really think that we've got to have another look at it to see whether it really is worth all the money that we're spending
Of
on
course
it.
it is, Philip. I get to play for free on you. It's
Yeah, I know.
fantastic. At least I only have to pay half. Phil, we're starting off in Carnegie on Saturday at 10:30 a.m.
Carnegie again.
Leo
We've got some
Samuel.
announcements coming about Carnegie, Gary.
We know that. What a great looking house this is in Belsize Avenue, number 54 Belsize Avenue, Carnegie. Take us through this
Gary,
home,
we've
Phil.
been quoting in excess of 1.1 there, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, the most gorgeous facade. Love that house, love that street, love Carnegie.
You are starting off, Philip, in Inkerman Street on this wonderful period home, 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Tell us a little about this. Leon's handling it. You're auctioning.
Gary, picture postcard, perfect facade, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, beautifully renovated throughout, gorgeous back garden, great spot, part of the St Kilda East Groove.
This is a fantastic looking property in Marara Road, Philip. Very affordable in the 5 to 550 range at Glen Bricker Handling. Jeremy Rosen's auctioning opposite the park, Phil.
Harry, have a look at this. Completely stunning, great location there. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. But have a look at that alfresco outdoor entertaining area. That's a real bonus for an apartment.
Hard to get an apartment in around that $400,000 range, Phil, but we've got one in Hotham Street. This one goes up on Saturday at 11:30 with Jeremy Rosen's. Limor is handling it.
Yep, Gary, once again, renovated beautifully throughout. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. That is great buying and certainly a great spot there in Ripponlea.
I love Ormond. Isn't it a great suburb?
Yep, Ormond is a great suburb. We're doing well there, Gary.
We are, Phil. At 11:30 we're going to be doing an auction in Olympia Court. You're going to be doing that auction, Phil. Take us through it.
Well, great location. Comes off Bamboo Road. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, car parking for 2 cars. And that's a house that you can move straight into and just enjoy from the word go. What's our quote range there? We're
looking around somewhere that 9 to 990.
Yeah, I reckon it might well break through the $1 million barrier, Gary.
Could do so, Philip. A semi-detached period home makes its way to the market, Philip, on Saturday. I'm going to be doing the auction at 12:30 p.m. Adam Josky and Joel Sir handling this fantastic property.
And it would be helpful, Gary, if you gave the address, which would be 249A Bamborough Road, Caulfield South. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and parking for 2 cars. Great position there. Walking distance to the cafe is in Bamborough Road.
Thanks, overestimated your ability to deliver the address there. Phil won't do that again, sorry. Next auction is in Grosvenor Street, Philip. That one is 9 at 98 Grosvenor Street. Jeremy Rosen's auctions, 12:30 p.m.
Gary,
on Saturday.
We've been quoting in excess of $360,000 there. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, beautifully renovated, and certainly part of that great groove of St Kilda East with Carlisle Street on your doorstep, the Glen Ira village of Ripponlea on your doorstep, and 2 train stations, not one, being the Ripponlea train station and the Balaclava train station.
Good geography there, Phil. Well done.
Google Maps, you've got to love them, Gary.
You are a walking Google map. Jeremy Rosens is Google mapping his way through New Zealand on a bit of a real estate study tour today. He's doing a bit of an educational, but he'll need to have some rest because he's a very busy boy on Saturday. He also auctions the next property in Alma Road at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. Take us through this one, Phil.
Gary, that's 6 at 64 Alma Road, St Kilda. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and not one, Gary, but 2 car spaces. Very funky renovation there. And certainly access to a rooftop terrace. So you've got to love that one, Gary, and we've been quoting in excess of $500,000.
We auctioned that property before I held that auction. I loved it. It was a really special property. Kooraga Road, Carnegie. We're back in Carnegie, Phil. You're doing the auction this time in Kooraga Road at 1:30 on Saturday, 68 Kooraga Road.
That's number 68, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for a couple of cars, maybe even more. Gorgeous period detail there, Gary, and a quote there of in excess of $950.
I'm auctioning 13 Kieron Street at 1:30, Philip, on Saturday. Looking forward to that one. A beautiful home being handled by Adam Josky. That one comes up at 1:30 p.m.
And what a big family home it is. We've
It's a
been
beauty.
quoting in excess of 1.25. That's a big, glamorous 5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home, double lock-up garage, plenty of off-street parking for further cars, and walking distance to Princess Park, the tram in Hawthorne Road, and the tram in Glen Huntly Road.
Philip, at 2:30 p.m, I'm going to be in Capital Avenue, McKinnon. What a capital idea it is to sell in that street,
That's
Philip.
the best joke you've got, is it?
2:30 p.m. it comes up, Philip. I'm going to be doing the auction. Take us through number
4
11, Capital Avenue.
bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking there, Gary. A quote in excess of $1.1 million. How much do we love Ormond and McKinnon, Gary? Those are 2 suburbs that are just doing phenomenally well.
McKinnon, Carnegie, Bentley East, bring them all on, I
Yes,
say.
Gary, we may have some major announcements
We
about
may.
all of those suburbs,
We
and then
may.
again, we may not.
We may not. Phil, 2:30, you're going to be wrapping up Saturday in River Street, South Yarra. A very interesting property. Tell us a little about this, won't you?
Gary, you've got to love River Street, because if you bought a property in River Street, whether you were working there or living there, you can walk to Toorak Road, South Yarra. You can walk to Chapel Street. You can walk to Alexandra Avenue and the Yarra
You can
River.
have a dip in the Yarra.
You can. In fact, they're bringing back a Yarra swim, I was seeing.
Is that right?
This was written up recently.
Really?
Where they used to, I think it stopped in the 1960s, but they had a
Whenever everyone got sick from the water.
The falls,
Yeah.
the Yarra Falls, which is somewhere around Kew or Studley Park.
Yeah, somewhere
They had
there.
a
Fairfield.
swim from there to, I think, the mouth of the river, the mouth where
Really?
it hits Port Phillip Bay, I think.
Wow.
And they're bringing that back because they say the water quality of the Yarra River is improving. Anyway, it's got nothing to do with
Yeah, it's
number
interesting,
84
though. I
River
didn't know
Street.
that. Learn something
Number
from
84
you.
River Street. We've got a parcel of land there of 279 square metres with a really good brick warehouse. That's in a dynamic residential area,
Hot spot.
a commercial area, and that is just going to suit somebody for either residential redevelopment, subject to council approval, or some sort of commercial activity. But what a great opportunity.
34 degrees. You're finishing at 2:30. You'll be ready for a nice cool beer, I'd say, Philip, after that.
Cool beer.
I think you might
Maybe
be.
we'll have a cool
I think
beer,
you should,
Gary.
Phil, because on Sunday we're going to do it all again. We're starting off at 10:30 a.m, Philip, in Crottenhurst Avenue. I love that street, and this is a great home.
16, Gary, I love this house. That's on the north side, a really good parcel of land. That's a 4 or 5 bedroom family home, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, Gary. You can move straight into this house, not spend a cent, and it's got a great courtyard feel to it.
2 Salisbury Avenue or Salisbury Street, Philip. I'm going to be opening my Sunday auctions there with Adam Josky, handling agent. Tell us about this funky looking place,
A
Phil.
brand new town residence, Gary. Great spot there. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. You've got the tram in Hawthorne Road, the tram in Balaclava Road, and Caulfield Park, literally only metres from your front door.
Philip, we shot GPTV, the first edition this year at 13 Albert Street. We're bringing that to the market on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Looking forward to seeing you do that auction.
Beautiful family home, Gary. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 2 cars or more. That's a really good family home and a great spot.
I'd like to be there with you, Philip, but I can't because I'm going to be in Alexander Street with Benjamin Rothschild auctioning this terrific apartment, 5 at 74 Alexander Street, St Kilda East.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space, beautifully renovated throughout. Have a look at that kitchen and bathroom. Doesn't get any better than that.
411 Rosalie Street, Caulfield South. Philip, goes up for auction on Sunday at 12:30. You're doing that one. Nikki Janover handles a popular property, I think.
Gary, we've been quoting in excess of $800,000 there. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double garage for 2 cars. A double garage for 2 cars. Who would have ever thought that a double garage would fit 2 cars?
Brilliant. Bit of
Although, if you have that little little smart car.
Yeah,
It's probably a double garage
for 4 cars. Exactly right. We should change our icons and put 4 smart cars. Phil, Takapuna is an area in New Zealand, but also a street in Caulfield South, number 18. Is a lucky number for some, Phil, and this is going to be lucky for the buyer. It goes up at 130.
An immaculate family home, Gary. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 2 cars. That is a seriously good house.
I think our biggest offering happens on Sunday at 2:30, 10 Linlithgow Avenue, Caulfield North. Tell us about this
Gary,
one.
that 10 Linlithgow Avenue is a street or an avenue where I think that there are more tennis courts in that street than any other street in Caulfield North.
Yes,
So a little interesting bit of trivia there. That's a fabulous, glamorous family home. And 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, the most beautiful garden, and that is a solid brick house, Gary. Built the good old-fashioned
They don't make them like that anymore, Phil.
with a concrete
Too
slab
expensive.
at first level as well, so I love that house.
Howard Road, the number 1 street in Caulfield North, according to many, Philip.
Yes, Gary.
Number 3 goes up, a big block of land goes up at 3:30 on Sunday.
It is a big block. It is
a big block.
It is a big
Big
block
block.
of land, 1,247 square metres on the west side of the street, and that's really about 20% bigger than most of the blocks in Howard Road.
It is.
That is a great property.
We're wrapping up Sunday at 4:30 p.m, Phil, a long day for us. Particularly for you, you're going to have a big day of auctions. I think you're doing 6 or something ridiculous. 7.
Tucked in bed early on Sunday night.
You will,
Gary.
Phil. No white night for you this Saturday night. It's going to be a very black night. Just turn the lights off early.
I'm going to.
Good. 67 Carlingford Street, a lovely home, a beautifully finished property, delightful vendors. This one goes up at 4:30 on Sunday afternoon.
And Gary, as many as 6 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, and one of the best back gardens, swimming pools, al fresco area you're likely to see.
We've gone on and on, Phil. We've reviewed every vendor's property because they deserve it, Phil.
They do.
And so do the buying public,
It's
because
exciting.
this is what's going on in the real estate world. It's exciting. There's lots happening. The market is very strong, but we can't go without talking about where we are now, because we are in one of the best streets in Elswick. We're in Shuba Road, Phil.
Gary, how good is this town residence in Shuba Road? Firstly, Shuba Road, one of the best streets of Elstonwick.
Yes.
Walking distance to Glen Huntly Road.
Yes.
And the vibe of all of those cafes and shops and
This
the
is
classic
brand new,
cinema.
Phil. It's never been lived in before.
I know, and it's got the best design, 3 bedrooms and a
Yep.
study, beautiful entertaining areas. And very cleverly, the main bedroom is on the ground.
I was just
floor
about
here.
to say that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
took the words right out of my mouth. You ripped them out, Phil.
did, Gary.
And I like that rounded wall that it's got back there as well.
Beautiful, and that's
lovely
kind of
aspects.
where the
Yeah.
main ensuite bathroom
That's right.
is. And how sexy is that ensuite
It is.
bathroom?
Massive shower. It's a great location, Phil, and you're right on the doorstep of all of Elswick's best facilities. Glen Huntly Road, just over there, a few doors up. You've got the tram, you've got the shops, you've got the cinema, you've got everything.
Sure, I just said all of that actually. So you've just completely duplicated and made this show longer. Viewers, we hope that you're enjoying the 2015 real estate market. We certainly are. It's a hive of activity out there. Things are really picking up. If you've got any suggestions about GPTV this year, please send us a note on ideas@garypeer.com.au. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.